Disclaimer. If you come here only to type something along the lines of "get good scrub" or "learn matchup lol," congratulations! You have officially wasted your own damn time. I hope you pinned your roster of Elite Smash characters on the fridge for everyone to be oh so proud of. Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep it tame, but there may be points throughout this video where I may come off a tad overly passionate on the subject matter. If you're not in the mood to hear a bit of shouting, then maybe save this video for when you are. Let's get started. I will never forget what Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has done for me. It is nothing short of an incredible game and a Nintendo Switch must-have that lived up to its name of being the ultimate celebration of gaming as a whole. That is a title I do not see anything taking away from it anytime soon, but to that end, I feel that Smash Ultimate has unfortunately had to undermine other aspects of what make a great Smash game. Engaging single-player content was largely shafted, long-time veteran characters' movesets continue to be outdated, the online is as bad as it's always been, and character balance is arguably the worst it's ever been. You could argue that with the sheer amount of characters that Ultimate boasts, that was just bound to be par for the course, and while I don't disagree, I sure don't think the added DLC characters helped with that. Like at all. Now, Ultimate's DLC train was one for the books, alright? The anticipation of who was gonna get in next once the third-party floodgates have been thrown open wider than ever before with Joker's reveal was always enough to sit down for any Nintendo Direct by itself, and you best believe I did just that. Some reveals at points were enough to literally make my whole day. In that regard, Ultimate's DLC train was more than worth it, but now that it's over, I can't help but look back at it all through a more critical lens, and through that, I've realized that Ultimate's DLC in the long term has probably done more harm than good. That is not to say that every DLC character is harmful for the game's overall longevity, and that all DLC Ultimate has had is inherently bad. With this video, I want to point out Ultimate's problematic philosophy on how it handled DLC, and why in the long run, it's damaged the game's overall image. Smash Ultimate has received a total of 12 DLC fighters, and of those 12, 6 of them will not be included in today's topic because they are fine in my book and don't totally asset flip my smile whenever I'm matched up with them. Those 6 are Piranha Plants, Banjo and Kazooie, Min Min, Pyra and Mythra, though they are cutting it close, Byleth, and Sora. Sora did nothing wrong. Nothing. Ever. These guys are fine because they are not guilty of the offense the remaining 6 are, those 6 being Joker, Terry, Steve, Kazuya, Hero, and Sephiroth. If you know, you know, but if you don't, you're probably wondering what these 6 did to, as I'm putting it, damage Ultimate's name. I will be going over each one of them one by one, from least offender to greatest offender. With that said, this is gonna be a doozy, but let's get into it. Starting with the least egregious offender, we have Joker. The main issue with him is how his comeback mechanic was implemented rather than him having it at all. So the more damage Joker sustains in battle, the quicker he gains access to his persona, Arsene. Note that I said he gains it quicker. There are numerous ways Joker can awaken his persona in Smash. First, as I said, by taking damage. Second, by sustaining damage while using his ability Rebel Guard, which is his down B or down special for those less than to know about Smash terminology. I believe this is the quickest way for him to get Arsene, but do correct me if I'm wrong, and if I am, that's stupid. It should be the most effective way. Finally, the last way he can gain Arsene, ready for this? By just standing there, his gauge fills over time. By doing absolutely nothing at all, he can gain the buff that is Arsene. While yes, this is the least efficient method, and the slowest, the fact that it can happen that way at all is just goofy to me. Now, what happens once Joker gains Arsene? Well, for starters, the range on the majority of his moves is extended. His neutral special, also known as Gun, gains hit stun or is more likely to hit stun as it fires more bullets per shot. His side special goes from Eha to Egaon, which increases the distance it travels as well as the speed of which it does so. Finally, he gains the ability to spike. That's right, his down air with Arsene gains spike capabilities, and it's a good one at that. You get all this and potentially more for essentially losing. All this could be easily fixed too. If Joker's only method of charging his persona meter was exclusively through the Rebel Guard down special, this would make it so that you are rewarded for skillful timing of the move and getting good reads on your opponents, as opposed to being rewarded for getting your ass tossed or literally just standing there. The problem here is that the majority of characters in Ultimate's roster don't have a comeback mechanic along the likes of Joker's, but for paying an extra $6 American, getting your ass beat becomes a viable strategy. It's unfair to most of the cast, but not nearly to the degree we're going to be getting into soon here. Next up, we got Terry, who I think is just barely more of an egregious offender than Joker. Terry's whole deal is that upon him reaching 100% in damage sustained, he gains access to what I call his go moves. These moves consist of Power Geyser and Buster Wolf. Well, Miguel, it's only 2 moves. How could it be so bad? That's what you just said. Those are words I just put into your mouth. And well, dear viewer, there are 2 additionally high devastating moves that you are given for losing. The catch is that their respective inputs are pretty specific and can be tricky to perform whilst in the heat of battle, but skilled players who main Terry are given just straight up stock taking freebies for losing. Terry can spam and use these moves, which have little end lag mind you, for as long as he continues to hold the stock. No meter, no timer, your only option is to finish his stock, which is exactly what you were aiming to do the entire time. And where did that get you? A Terry with 100% plus damage given 2 moves that can clear your stocks. If you ever ask you, are you okay? You sure as hell won't be shortly after, and neither will your Switch. Well, just take him out before he reaches 100% in damage taken, you may say. Okay, sure, but have you ever played Sheik? Next up, we have Sephiroth, and unlike with Joker, yes, I am just flat out upset that he has a comeback mechanic at all. It's unnecessary, seeing as his moveset is just versatile and fine enough without it. So, when Sephiroth is beaten up enough because they just can't help themselves from giving these guys undeserved benefits for losing, he gets a singular black wing. Look guys, it's 1 wing and 8! Oh jeez, not even my sinuses wanted me to finish that one. So with the wing, Sephiroth is given super armor at the beginning of all his smash attacks. Don't make me explain it, I'm pissed off as is. So smash attacks are powerful blows that can be charged for upwards to 60 frames, or a single second translated to normal people non-gamer talk. These moves hurt, and are most of the time effective and efficient ways to take out stocks. Super armor is when during the performance of certain moves, the character performing said move is invulnerable to hit stun and any interruption, so the move will go through without fail. You get the picture yet? Sephiroth, the character with a decent as hell moveset already, is given uninterrupted super moves for losing. And guess what? We're not done here! On top of what I've already mentioned, his black wing also gives him a 3rd jump and boosts his attack power and speed, because that's definitely necessary. He would be just such a fish out of water without that. The catch is that the wing only lasts for a limited time, so unlike Terry, Sephiroth's BS at least does have an expiration date. Despite that, I still think he's the greater offender between the two because he is already powerful enough of a fighter as is without any of that. Therefore, all these buffs that come with taking damage, yes, that's the only way he gets the wing, are way less justified for him to have. It is incredibly unfair to the vast majority of the roster. But it only gets worse from here, folks. So strap in, because now it's time we get to talk about Hero. Man, this dude is the epitome of bullcrap. So Hero's base moveset is good, right? It's decent, he's a middleweight character who hits decently hard, has a good recovery, and is able to spike. The caveat being that the range of most of his physical attacks and sword swings is pitifully small. Do not take pity on him, however, because to make up for that, Hero has a vast array of ranged magic spells and projectiles. His neutral special, that can be charged, his side special, that can be charged, and a list of 21 total additional spells with his down special. What? Sizz, a fire spell that is sent forth quickly. Sizzle, large fire spell that is sent forth quickly. Bang, explosive spell that is sent forth. Kaboom, large explosive spell that is sent forth. This one pulls opponents in and is sent even faster for some reason. Snooze, a projectile spell that puts opponents to sleep. Flame Slash, fire sword move. Crackle Slash, ice sword move. Metal Slash, instantly kills any metal opponent. It's a real specific one, but a powerful one. Hatchet Man, powerful downward slash that will always crit, has immense knockback, and this kinda goes without saying, but does a lot of damage. Whack! It lives up to its name. This projectile could either be the wettest fart of an attack to ever touch you, or the one that kills you at 0. Thwack, This AoE move could either be the wettest fart of an attack to ever touch you, or the move that kills you at 0. Magic Burst. This one consumes all heroes' magic and in turn causes an, at times, stage-wide explosion. Kamikaze. It's exactly as it sounds. Hero go boom and you go boom too. Psych Up increases the attack of hero's next move. Oomph also increases hero attack and his knockback. This one has a timer though, so if you can't get a hit off and while it's active, it'll just fade away. I'm tripping over my tongue. Accelerate makes hero fast. Like, very. Kaklang. Hero encases himself in a metal coating that is incapable of taking damage from absolutely everything while he's in it. Aside from Metal Slash. Bounce. A temporary shield that deflects any and all projectile attacks. Yay! Heal. I'm going to scream. Zoom. No matter how far off stage hero might be, no matter how masterful your edgeguard game is, this move will just warp him back on stage. Yep. And Hocus Pocus. This move kinda just does whatever the hell it feels like it. It can either benefit or negatively impact the hero. Okay, so, while I was reading all that off, what were the 2 words on your mind? What's that? Bullcrap? You're damn right it is. So Hero, the character who I've already said had a well-rounded moveset, gets access to that plethora of spells listed prior. How this works is that every time you open his spell menu with down B, you are only given access to 4 randomly generated spells, each with their own likelihood of appearing. So almost to add insult to the injury, most of the BS Hero gets access to is given to him by chance. He could just wipe you out and win just with a fortunate enough roll. And guess what? We're not done yet here either! On top of everything else Hero has, the random chance of doing, he also has the random chance of getting critical hits on every one of his smash attacks. I don't even know what else to say at this point, my blood pressure is just rising. With all the crap that Hero has going for him, you may be surprised that he's not just outright the biggest defender. Well, the first reason for that being the case is because while I do find his antics unashamedly bullcrap, I admittedly find it to be endearing bullcrap. To a point, anyway. There's something so fun about casually picking Hero with the boys and seeing what kind of shenanigans ensue. He's among the best characters for casual play in my opinion, just due to how unpredictable a lot of his moveset is. It can be a lot of fun under the right conditions, but I will never defend Hero showing his face in a competitive setting. Ever. Come on, surely you knew he was gonna be here. Not only was he in the thumbnail, but if you're in the know, then you should also know he is more than worthy of a spot here in this video. Kazuya Mishima. Look at his stupid grin, I hate this guy. So Kazuya is an important character from the Tekken series, and if you know Tekken, then you should also know that unlike Smash, it's more along the lines of your traditional fighting game. This isn't the first time a traditional fighting game character has made their way into Smash, but it currently stands as the last time, as well as the worst that it's ever been handled. With Ryu, Ken, and Terry, they are all still reminiscent of their games of origin while still having been appropriately converted to the rules of Smash Bros. It was a perfect marriage of fighting game genres that had been working out just fine for the series up until this point. Yet with Kazuya, they completely threw all that away to the wayside. Let's have the traditional fighting game character fight like a traditional fighting character in the platform fighter, they said. What? I cannot believe this was passed as a good idea, but it was, and now we're stuck with Kazuya as he is, who fights like he's not even playing the same damn game as the rest of the fighters. Kazuya gets to stun lock you and get in a multitude of decent damage dealing hits, doing combos that no other fighter is capable of in the same vein that he is. Other characters actually have to consider knockback, using stage and platforms to extend their combos. Kazuya though? Nope. Let me just hold you in place so you can hold this L real quick. What's that? You got hit by a move? Combo locked. 70%. Ha ha! Man, they might as well have just put an invisible wall behind the opponent once they're hit by Kazuya, because it sure as hell feels that way regardless. Look at this. Does this look okay to you? It shouldn't. No other character can fight like this. Is it what makes him quirky and unique in his own way? Yes. But they could have reached a middle ground where they still achieved that. They've literally done it before and just gave up here. Ah yes, for just $6 extra US, you traditional fighting game tryhards can infiltrate the world of Smash and ruin everyone's day by not even converting to the rules of the game. Let's see, where was I? Oh right, it gets worse. So Kazuya not only has that going for him, but say it with me now, he has a comeback mechanic! And more. I'm having a hard time keeping up with it, actually. So like Terry, once Kazuya sustains 100% plus damage, his attack damage is multiplied. The move speed of certain moves is increased. He also gains access to additional moves on top of that. Oh, he also gets super armor. Can I be done yet? I'm really gonna lose it. There's probably even more on top of all that I'm missing, but the more I look into all this, the more I realize just how problematic Ultimate's DLC philosophy actually is. Do I seriously even need to explain why Kazuya's additional BS is not okay by this point? What is it about his moveset exactly that necessitates these buffs, huh? These buffs that he gets for taking damage. So even if you manage to get a lead on the guy, he's just gonna be powered up regardless despite not even abiding by the rules of the game that he's in. It's downright baffling. And unlike Hero, his craft isn't endearing in the slightest, so he doesn't even have that much going for him. This script has the most capitalized words I've ever used this far, jeez. Look, if I have to rant about Kazuya any longer, my boiling blood is actually going to melt whatever functioning neurons I have left, so let's just move on with it. Among all the egregious, there is yet one whose egregiousness knows little bounds. The hell am I even saying? It's Steve, no point in beating around it. Look at this. This pisses me right off. This is the one that honestly hurts me the most, because Steve was unironically one of my most anticipated characters during Ultimate's DLC hype train. I was overjoyed when he was revealed. Thought it was a straight up prank at first, but nah, he's really here. And I hate him for it. Most of Steve's moveset is actually fine in my book, and adding on to that, he doesn't have any bullcrap comeback mechanic either. So, then, what is it about him that makes him the worst defender of them all? I just showed you. This pisses me right off! That's right, in the platform fighter, Steve is the only character able to conjure platforms beneath him out of nowhere. This is just how my villain arc begins, isn't it? Steve's moveset pays great homage to his original game. To a fault. He can mine, he can craft, and he can commit war crimes. Like in his game of Origin, Steve can place down blocks and build things, which is great in concept. Building is a core part of Minecraft's appeal and identity. Incorporating it somehow into his moveset was pretty much a given, but my god did they go about it in the worst way. You wanna know a fundamental rule of building in Minecraft? You can only place blocks atop of a pre-established surface. Even in creative mode, the game's literal god mode, you cannot build without a pre-established surface. Look, as genius as it would be to have a platform fighter where every character has their own variant of an ability to create platforms, why did I just say that? Now I really just want exactly that. Here in the case of Smash Ultimate, there is but one issue. Only a single DLC character is able to do this! Steve here isn't just failing to abide by the rules of Smash Brothers like Kazuya, he's failing to abide by the rules of the entire platform fighter genre with his antics. How could that not make him the greatest offender? Look at this! Does this look okay to you? It shouldn't. You're looking at criminal activity! The majority of this video, I've been largely hyperbolic for entertainment and comedic purposes, but throughout it, you've heard me say that Smash Ultimate's philosophy on DLC is problematic. It's time for me to explain what I mean by that. In a game where players are already faced with the potentially overwhelming sized roster that Ultimate boasts, why would they pay for more? It is my current headcanon, or thought process, that this is what the developers of Ultimate were questioning when designing DLC fighters, because it explains why they would go so far as to add on all these extra bells and whistles to some of these characters no matter how excessive it might be afterward, not caring about how it would further upset game balance, not caring about making characters that inherently have a leg up above the majority of the cast. They primarily cared about giving as much incentive for consumers of the game to just consume more. Fairness and balance be damned. I know that Masahiro Sakurai means well and pours so much heart and soul into his projects. I was there during all of Ultimate's hype season after all, but I still can't help the feeling that the ridiculous spell list, excessive comeback mechanics, and rule-bending to rule-breaking movesets were primarily made for marketing first and gameplay and fairness and balance second. Ultimate's competitive landscape, at least to a degree, has struggled with this as a result. The online scene can oftentimes be way more upsetting than it can be fun, and character balance is arguably the worst it's ever been. So, did DLC actually make Smash Bros. Ultimate worse? As an experience, hell no. Again, I will never forget what this game has done for me throughout high school, but in retrospect, as a game, I cannot deny that it has done a good deal of damage. Ultimate is not at all a bad game, nowhere near it, but half of its DLC will always be one of its flaws in my book. What are your thoughts though? Just because the video is wrapping up doesn't mean the discussion is. It's just getting started actually, and I would love to talk about it with you guys. But yeah, that's about it from me. I've done enough shouting for a day, and this video has taken a lot out of me. Hope you enjoyed it, maybe even to the point of subscribing? Miguel signing off.